Good morning, everyone. This is Emily, and welcome to your daily 10 minutes of Cafe English. It is Sunday, May 10th.
And I am Lisa. Hi, everyone. Okay, can I tell you about my morning real quick? It is kind of relevant.
Oh, please do.
I tried a new cafe and just fully trusted my map app. It sent me to a random parking lot.
A parking lot? Not the cafe?
Not even close. I sat there thinking, did the place shut down? Nope, the map was just wrong.
Honestly, that is funny you say that because it's actually a perfect way into our first story.
Wait, seriously?
Topic 1 is a Google Maps glitch in Toronto that sent cars the wrong way down a one-way street.
Oh no, I'm already feeling vindicated.
Topic 2, scientists in Finland connected something called a time crystal to an actual device.
A time crystal?
That sounds like a movie prop. And topic 3, the new Wuthering Heights movie hit #1 in over 50 countries on HBO Max.
Ooh, I've seen that one everywhere. A tech mishap, a quantum breakthrough, and a movie everyone is arguing about?
Today's keyword is actually.
Oh, that's such a Sunday word. I love it.
It does a lot of quiet work in a sentence.
If you're new here, we're 10-minute daily cafe chat. 3 news stories every morning. No rush, no textbook.
Just the kind of English you'd actually use over coffee. Hit subscribe so the next chat is ready when your coffee is.
Thanks for being here. 3 stories, 1 Sunday morning. Let's start in Toronto.
Please tell me my parking lot wasn't the worst case. So, in Toronto, a one-way street called Winona Drive had Google Maps labeling it the wrong direction for about 4 days.
4 days? So cars were just driving the wrong way? On a one-way street?
Exactly. The glitch was discovered on a Wednesday, April 30th, and it was not fully fixed until early Monday morning.
The whole long weekend, basically. What did the people who actually live on that street do?
Some residents started making their own handmade signs to wave at incoming drivers, like, "Do not enter, please turn around."
Handmade signs? That is both kind of charming and kind of terrifying.
Right? And there were schools nearby, so it wasn't just an inconvenience, it was a real safety issue.
Honestly, this is what scares me about trusting tech for everything. We just assume the map is right and stop looking out the window.
The local counselor, Josh Matlow, said, and I'm quoting, "These sorts of Google glitches cause real and immediate safety impacts on our streets."
That's a strong quote, and he's right. A safety impact is not a typo. People could have gotten hit.
And the city says they're going to meet with Google directly to figure out how this happened.
Good, because if a map can quietly flip a street's direction, that's the kind of bug you want a real conversation about.
And Google did say they take driver safety very seriously, and that their routes come from a mix of AI, traffic data, and local sources.
Sure, but 4 days is a long time for any of those sources to catch up.
It really is. And the residents stepping in with cardboard signs is the part that stays with me.
Same. Like the most low-tech fix saved the day while the high-tech system was still loading. That's such a good way to put it. And this is what bugs me. We have all become drivers who barely look at street signs anymore. The screen is the boss.
Right? Until the screen is wrong, and suddenly we have no backup plan.
Exactly. So the lesson is, if your GPS sends you up a one-way street, actually check the sign first. Or, end up in a parking lot like me.
Moving on to our second story. This next one is actually going to break your brain a little bit.
Oh, those are my favorite. Hit me.
Researchers at Aalto University in Finland just connected a time crystal to an actual physical device for the first time in history.
Hold on. A time crystal? That sounds like it belongs in a science fiction movie.
Honestly, it kind of does. A time crystal is a state of matter where movement repeats forever without needing any energy input.
So it is basically perpetual motion? I always heard that was impossible, like against the laws of physics.
In the everyday world, yes, but the lead researcher, Jere Mäkinen, said, quote, perpetual motion is possible in the quantum realm so long as it is not disturbed by external energy input.
Okay, so the catch is the moment you observe it or poke it, it stops working, and until now, connecting it to a device meant poking it.
Exactly. That's why this breakthrough matters. They figured out how to link a time crystal to a tiny mechanical oscillator without disturbing it.
That's wild. It's like trying to pet a wild animal without scaring it off, but the animal is a vibrating crystal.
That's such a good image. And actually, that's the whole technical problem in one sentence.
Thank you, thank you. So what does this unlock? Like, what could it actually power?
They're talking about super precise sensors and better memory for quantum computers down the line.
So the kind of stuff that doesn't show up in your phone next year, but might quietly change how computers work in 10.
Pretty much. The paper is in Nature Communications, which is a big deal for credibility.
And honestly, I love that this came out of a university in Finland. Quiet, cold, doing groundbreaking quantum work.
There's something poetic about that, right? Real-world chaos, like maps glitching on one hand, and on the other, a crystal humming forever in a Finnish lab.
So somewhere in Finland, there's a crystal that's basically been running forever, and they finally figured out how to plug something into it. That's actually wild.
Finally, our third topic today, and it is actually the most divisive of the three.
Ooh, divisive? Tell me everything.
The new Wuthering Heights with Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie just hit #1 in over 50 countries on HBO Max.
50 countries? That is huge for a literary adaptation. I always thought period dramas were a niche thing.
That is what is so interesting. Critics are kind of split, 58% on Rotten Tomatoes, but the audience gave it 76%.
Wait, so the critics didn't love it, but the audience showed up anyway? That's actually a pretty bold gap.
Right. The director, Emerald Fennell, who also did Saltburn, went for a much more modern, intense take on the 1847 novel.
Oh, that director. Yeah, her last movie was already polarizing, so of course people would either love this one or want to throw their popcorn.
Pretty much. And it made $241 million worldwide on an $80 million budget, so financially it's a clear win.
That's the magic of a controversial movie. Half the internet says masterpiece, the other half says disaster, and everyone clicks play.
Exactly. Controversy is honestly a marketing budget you can't buy.
And what's funny is the original novel was actually controversial when it came out, too. I remember reading that critics in 1847 didn't really know what to do with it. Right? Emily Bronte was writing about obsessive, kind of dark love way before the Victorian audience was ready. So almost 200 years later, we're still arguing about whether the main guy is a tragic figure or a red flag. That's kind of incredible.
It really is. And I think that's why it keeps getting remade. Every generation wants to take a swing at it.
Have you seen it yet?
Not yet. I'm planning to this weekend. You?
Same, but I want to watch it knowing the critics hated it. I feel like that changes the experience. Like, I'm rooting for the underdog before I press play.
That's such a fun way to watch a movie. You almost want it to win you over.
Exactly. And honestly, with $241 million at the box office, plus #1 in 50 countries on streaming, the audience already won the argument.
True. Critics still write the reviews, but audiences vote with their time, and time is the harder vote to get.
Going in curious. So almost 200 years later, we're actually still arguing about Wuthering Heights. That's kind of beautiful.
Okay, today's 3 stories all had something in common. They were all about what we think is true versus what is actually true.
Oh, that ties them together so well. We thought the map was right, the time crystal was impossible, and the movie would only please critics or only please audiences. All three flipped on us. Today's keyword was actually. It means in fact or in reality, contrary to what you might think. I love that we kept circling back to it. Such a casual word, but it carries the whole theme today. You can use it when you are gently correcting something, like, oh, actually, the meeting is at 3, not 2. Or to surprise someone, like, I actually finished that book in one night. 2 flavors of the same word. Got it. Your turn for the request. We want to keep bringing you stories you actually love, so we have a small request. Of today's 3, which one made you go, oh, actually, that is not what I thought? Option A, the Toronto Google Maps glitch. Option B, the time crystal breakthrough. Option C, the Wuthering Heights split reception.
Drop A, B, or C in the comments. Any language is totally fine, and even just an emoji works.
Lisa, you go first today. Okay, I'm going B. The time crystal thing keeps rattling around in my brain. The idea that something can move forever as long as no one looks at it, that feels metaphorical for so much of life.
That's such a Lisa answer, and I love it. I'm going C. The audience versus critic gap actually taught me something. I trust audiences more than I thought I did.
Oh, that's a great pick. And A is honestly the most useful one. It's a real-life lesson, with cardboard signs included.
True. 3 different doors, all marked actually.
If you enjoyed this chat, please hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so we can show up in your morning every day.
Have a soft Sunday, everyone. And if your map app sends you somewhere weird today, actually trust your eyes.
See you tomorrow, friends.
See you tomorrow.